welcome to another video. We're kind of having a week off now between now and the 1st of December just to relax a little bit, but Rosie's thoroughly enjoying the fairy tale theme, so it'll be a semi-structured week off just because Rosie's really enjoying having the whole fairy tale theme. She comes on every morning, what fairy tale are we doing today? So we're probably just going to keep that up a little bit, but not too intense to the end of the week. Not that we have been too intense with it, but we're going to do that. So I thought I would make today's video about partly what we've done with our week off and partly the phase she's going through at the moment. I don't know if anyone else's 4-year-old is going through the same phase as Rosie, but I thought if I spoke about it, then it might help you make you feel normal about your child if they're going through the same thing, and also ways we've tried dealing with it that have worked and haven't worked and are sometimes working and sometimes not working. So I thought I'd talk about that today. So Rosie at the moment is going through a phase where she can be as lovely as pie. She really can. She can put her own shoes on, she can brush her own teeth with a little bit of help and things like that. But she'll have the moments where she'll know perfectly well why she needs to do it, but point blank refuses to do it. And it's infuriating because it's something as simple as we're going to be going somewhere really nice with her. She knows she's excited to go, and yet she won't put her shoes on, and the threat of taking away the nice thing we're going to do just makes her hurl her shoes across the floor and cry as if it's already gone and there's nothing she can do to get it back, no matter how we word it. So I always like to give Rosie a chance to redeem herself, no matter what I discipline, whatever you want to call it, her with. I always like to give a chance of redemption. So if I take something away, I will always say to her, well, we won't be able to go then if you keep behaving like that. So if you can behave between now and then, and that means, and I'll list to her what that means, because sometimes they don't know. They're new to the world. All this language and stuff we use with them that we assume they just know, they don't. My husband uses ridiculously long words with our 4-year-old, and she just sits there and looks confused, and it's just kind of like, she doesn't know what that means. She doesn't even know what attitude means, let alone telling her she's got a bad one. Yeah, we are trying to do gentle attachment parenting. Sometimes shouting is the only thing that does snap her out of it, which I really hate. I hate to shout at her, just because I don't think it's the most productive way to get a child to do what you want, because we want their compliance through their choice rather than their obedience through control. That's what we're trying to get. Now sometimes it's not an option because it's dangerous, she's near a road. It is a case of you have to obey this or you will end up dead. So yeah, some things you can't use that, well, she chose to step in the road. No, as a parent it's our job to protect them as well. So anyone who thinks that we're too lenient that way, no. So I'll go through some of the methods that we've currently used that have and haven't worked, and sometimes work some days and sometimes don't work other days, with you now. First port of call is always talking. It's always to sit her down, get down to her level, and explain to her the consequence of what's going to happen if she continues to behave the way she does. Now, most of the time, she's very clever. Most of the time, this works, and she's happy to go, okay. And especially if I say, Mummy's going to be really sad if we can't do this, because Mummy was looking forward to it too, and I know you were looking forward to it. So if I bring my emotions into it, I'm also trying to teach her some empathy to go along with it. I have also had to throw something directly in the bin because she was being dangerous with it, and she was warned several times, and she was told on the last 2 times that if she continued to play with it in the dangerous way she was, it would go straight in the bin because she couldn't be trusted to play with it nicely, and it did. It went in the bin. I think my neighbour fished it out and took it. It was a mirror ball, you see, she was throwing it. She was just throwing it across the room, throwing it at things. She was throwing it at the cat that visits every now and then. It just wasn't acceptable behaviour. It's not something that she's suitable for her age right now. And I'm glad my neighbour fished it out of the bin and is using it. And he's always said to us, if you want it back, you can have it back. So that's good. But she witnessed it. It's not suitable for you if you're going to play with it like that. So it's going. And the same goes with a pet, because she wants a pet right now. No, until you start listening. And the same goes with an instrument. She wants to start learning an musical instrument now. But the same goes with that. Until she can start showing me she can listen properly, to actually listen to me or another teacher properly and do as she's told for the period that she's with them, then she's too little to start doing an instrument. I'm happy to play music games with her. I'm happy to do what we do at our choir and do some running about to the different rhythms and things like that. That's not to me. I am home now, so yeah. The other thing Rosie has started doing is, well, she's always kind of done it, and I have my opinion as to why she does it. She's also started hitting Daddy a lot. If you have a child that's doing this and there isn't an obvious reason, like when our children are stressed, their heads go into fight or flight mode. So if you have cornered them, or you're towering over them, or you're shouting in their faces or something like that, they're in fight or flight mode. They're not listening to you. All they know is they've fight or flight, and if they have no option to run away, they are going to fight you. So it's always best to leave a bit of space between you and your child, just so that if they need to move away, you can let them move away safely. We have an angry cushion for Rosie to throw. We have a sensory box that if Rosie's feeling overwhelmed, she can go and work out some of her frustrations on little fiddly things and stuff. My husband doesn't always give her this space, so I believe that's why he gets hit sometimes. But when she hits for no reason, double check that you haven't been staring at your phone, that you haven't been looking at a tablet or something like that. This kind of behaviour is usually a cry for attention. It's normally a communication issue that they haven't, they don't know how to tell you how they're feeling, or it could be anxiety demonstrating itself from somewhere else in their life. So although we haven't found a way to stop Rosie from doing this, exactly, she doesn't do it with me. This is the thing. I deal with her respectfully, and I talk to her not like an adult, because she isn't an adult. So I always make things a bit simpler for her to understand, but I always try talking to her first, and I always try and explain to her why something's happening and why Mummy is cross. And when she's in her particular moods and she just doesn't want to listen and doesn't have the capacity to listen for whatever reason, I tell her she's going to sit in the middle of the floor, and she's going to sit there for every minute of her life. I don't leave the room. I don't speak to her there either. I don't make myself unavailable. I just leave her to think about why Mummy is cross for 4 minutes. And then even if she started telling me, Mummy, I've already done it, I've already thought about it, and it's kind of like, no baby, you still have to sit there for the 4 minutes. And then when she's finished, I get right down to her level. I normally sit with her in the room somewhere near, and I get down to her level. I give her a big hug, and I ask her why Mummy's cross. She'll normally tell me. She normally does know. We'll talk through how we could have reacted differently next time. Perhaps it's something I could have done. Perhaps it's something she could have done. But I make it a very two-way street, that she knows that it's not just all on her, that this can be compromised, and some things can't be, but that she knows that the expectations of her aren't too unreasonable. So I hope this helps anyone. We're all addicted to our tablets and phones and stuff these days, so if your child has suddenly started hitting and they haven't just started school, or they haven't just had a new baby brother or some big thing happen in their life, do double check how much you're actually present in the room with them, because being there and interacting with them and being there on your phone are two different things. There are a lot of absent parents these days. They're in the room, but they're not really in the room, and kids know. They can tell. So yeah, I'm just going to finish this video off with some of the stuff we've done so far this week, but I hope that helps anyone. If you've got any questions or any other methods that you use as well for this kind of topic, do let me know and leave them in the comments below. What do you know? Yeah, you gotta hang on to it. It's a bit big for you, Babs. You're very little. When you do it, you use this hand to hold the different frets down, Babs. Because I don't want this video to be too long, so I hope the advice helped anyone. As a music teacher, if there is anybody who would like videos on some music games and things to introduce your children to music and note links and everything, do comment below. I'm happy to do a video like that. For now, I shall say it's ta-ta from me and ta-ta from the Rosie Bear.